As February 2026 unfolds, speculation is intensifying around one of the most prominent figures in global pop music, Jungkook. Following the massive commercial and cultural impact of his debut solo album, Golden, industry observers and fans alike are asking a pressing question. Is Jungkook quietly preparing his second solo album? While no official confirmation has been released by HYBE or Big Hit Music, a series of subtle indicators, from studio movements to strategic scheduling windows, have ignited widespread discussion across media platforms, fan communities, and music industry circles. This is not merely wishful thinking from fans. Rather, it is a convergence of timing, market dynamics, and Jungkook's evolving artistic trajectory that makes the possibility both intriguing and plausible. When Jungkook released Golden, the album did more than establish him as a viable soloist outside of BTS. It repositioned him as a global pop contender. The project's achievements were historic: multi-country chart dominance, Billboard placements, streaming milestones across Spotify and Apple Music, viral crossover appeal beyond K-pop audiences. Unlike many idol solo debuts that lean heavily into domestic fandom support, Golden demonstrated Jungkook's ability to command mainstream Western pop spaces, a rare accomplishment even among top-tier K-pop artists. This success creates both opportunity and pressure. A second album is no longer optional, it is expected. From an industry perspective, early 2026 presents a uniquely strategic opportunity. All members of BTS have now completed their military service obligations, marking the beginning of a transitional phase for the group. While full group comeback preparations are reportedly underway, such projects require extensive production timelines. That creates a potential gap. And in the global music industry, gaps are rarely left unused. Releasing a solo album before a full BTS comeback could sustain individual brand momentum, expand international reach further, diversify revenue streams ahead of group promotions, strengthen Jungkook's independent artistic identity. Timing and entertainment is rarely accidental. Throughout late January and early February 2026, Korean entertainment reporters and online communities have noted reports of Jungkook visiting recording studios more frequently. While artists routinely record material without immediate release plans, the pattern has raised eyebrows. Additionally, several Western producers previously linked to Jungkook have posted cryptic social media updates. Music engineers have hinted at major pop projects involving Korean artists. Insiders note increased internal movement within Big Hit's production teams. None of these details confirm a new album, but together they form a pattern, and patterns drive speculation. Another factor fueling speculation is Jungkook's evolving creative confidence. During earlier interviews surrounding Golden, Jungkook openly discussed wanting greater involvement in songwriting and musical direction in future projects. He spoke candidly about artistic growth and experimenting with sound. If a second album is indeed in development, industry analysts expect greater lyrical participation, potential production credits, more genre experimentation, a refined personal narrative. The first album introduced Jungkook as a global pop vocalist. The second could establish him as an artist-author. One of the most complex elements of the speculation is timing relative to BTS's group comeback. A solo album could either serve as a prelude to BTS's new era or temporarily shift focus away from group preparations. Historically, BTS has demonstrated exceptional strategic coordination between individual and group projects. If Jungkook releases new solo material, it would likely align carefully with the broader group roadmap. Industry observers suggest that staggered releases from members could build cumulative anticipation for the full group return. In that sense, a Jungkook solo comeback would not compete with BTS, it would amplify it. Global pop is currently in a transitional phase. Streaming platforms favor high-engagement global artists, Cross-market collaborations dominate charts, multilingual releases are increasingly normalized. Jungkook sits at the intersection of these trends. His bilingual accessibility, global fan base, and proven chart performance position him uniquely in early 2026's competitive landscape. Releasing a second solo album now would not be risky, it would be strategically aggressive. Interestingly, what fuels speculation most is silence. No teaser, no announcement, no denial. In modern pop marketing, silence often precedes impact. Artists of Jungkook's scale rarely telegraph major releases months in advance. Surprise drops, staggered teasers, and strategic countdown campaigns have become standard practice. The absence of confirmation is not proof of inactivity. It may simply be prelude. If Jungkook does release a second solo album in 2026, it would represent more than a follow-up. It would signal artistic independence, global longevity beyond idol frameworks, a transition from breakout soloist to sustained solo force. The question is not whether Jungkook can succeed again. The question is how far he intends to push his evolution. As speculation continues around a possible second solo album from Jungkook, industry analysts are turning their attention to a critical question. From a business standpoint, does a 2026 solo comeback make strategic sense? The short answer, overwhelmingly, yes. But the full answer requires examining streaming behavior, revenue diversification, touring potential, global brand positioning, and the evolving ecosystem surrounding BTS in the post-military era. This is not simply about artistic ambition, it is about timing, market dominance, and global leverage. Jungkook's solo viability is not speculative, it is measurable. Following Golden, his streaming metrics demonstrated something rare in K-pop solo transitions. Sustained daily global streams beyond initial fandom spikes, strong playlist retention on Western curated pop playlists, strong organic growth in non-Asian markets, and longevity across charts rather than short-lived peaks. What distinguished Jungkook was not just debut week impact, it was retention. Retention is the currency of long-term solo power. Industry analysts note that many idol solo projects experience heavy first-week performance driven by fan bases, followed by steep declines. Jungkook's trajectory, however, showed strong casual listener conversion, particularly in North America and Europe. A second album would capitalize on that infrastructure rather than rebuild from scratch. Streaming algorithms reward consistency. Releasing in early 2026 would refresh engagement loops already primed for him. With BTS members completing their service, 2026 marks a symbolic reset. For HYBE and big hit music, the roadmap likely includes gradual reintroduction of group activities, staggered content releases, individual brand reactivation. A Jungkook solo album at this stage would not conflict with BTS, it would maintain visibility while the group's larger-scale comeback undergoes preparation. Full BTS comebacks historically require extensive choreography production, multi-country marketing cycles, global media coordination, and large-scale performance staging. These projects cannot be rushed. In contrast, a solo album requires less logistical complexity while still generating global attention. From a business lens, this staggered approach diversifies risk and maximizes engagement windows. In 2026, album sales alone no longer define commercial success. The revenue ecosystem includes streaming royalties, publishing credits, brand endorsements, digital content monetization, performance licensing, and sync placements in media. Jungkook's solo brand has proven highly monetizable beyond traditional album cycles. A second album would unlock new endorsement campaigns, renewed fashion collaborations, expanded international ambassadorships, and potential soundtrack features. Luxury and global lifestyle brands favor artists with independent narrative arcs. A solo comeback refreshes that narrative. Brand partnerships are cyclical. Music resets the cycle. One of Jungkook's strongest solo achievements was penetrating Western mainstream radio and playlist ecosystems, spaces historically resistant to non-Western artists. Maintaining that presence requires continuity. Western pop operates on rapid turnover. New artists emerge weekly, viral trends cycle monthly. If too much time passes between releases, market familiarity fades. A 2026 solo comeback would reinforce Jungkook's name in pop radio circuits, sustain press relationships in the US and UK, preserve award show eligibility cycles, keep him within Grammy conversation territories. The longer the silence, the harder the re-entry. Momentum is perishable. Another major industry factor is touring viability. While BTS commands stadium-level dominance, Jungkook's solo metrics suggest he could successfully execute a limited global arena tour, festival headlining slots, high-profile televised performances, even a short 8 to 12 city run across major markets like Los Angeles, New York, London, Tokyo, and Seoul could generate significant revenue and strengthen solo identity. Touring does not just generate ticket sales, it amplifies streaming spikes, media exposure, and brand leverage. A second album provides fresh material necessary to justify such a tour. Beyond immediate profit lies something even more important: longevity. BTS remains one of the most influential groups in modern music history. However, individual sustainability ensures career stability beyond group cycles. For Jungkook, a second album represents expansion of his personal discography, ownership over creative direction, growth of publishing equity, independent chart credibility. Artists who successfully transition from group fame to sustained solo relevance typically do so by establishing consistent solo output early. Waiting too long can create dependency on nostalgia. Releasing in 2026 avoids that risk.